Hi everyone, so Crota's End contest mode has finally ended, and with it, the raid has become significantly easier, as it should. Now, unfortunately, with many raids, because it seems like the entirety of Destiny 2 developers are Warlocks, Warlocks are one of the most necessary classes for Crota's End, especially in the final two encounters. Now, many people will just throw on a build and call it a day, and in this raid, it's honestly pretty easy, but if you want to try and shorten the amount of time you're spending in the raid, I figured I'd try to share the Warlock build I used in the final encounter for Crota's End against Crota, so that players will have an option for what to use and just provide more utility to their team that they would if they just threw on a random exotic item and just tried to kill Crota that way. I will also leave a dim link in the video description. So without wasting any of your time, let me show you the build I used in Crota's End. So starting off, the exotic I used for the build is the Cenotaph Mask. Now the Cenotaph Mask has the exotic perk, High Priority. Steadily reloads a portion of your equipped trace rifle's magazine from reserves. Damaging a vehicle, boss, or champion with a trace rifle marks them as a target. When an ally defeats the marked target, special ammo is generated for you and heavy ammo for your allies. If you'll notice in the gameplay, the extent of my using the Cenotaph Mask was purely for marking the Swordbearer for my teammates, them killing the Swordbearer, and then generating the special and heavy ammo. There's no other enemies in this encounter you can really mark to kill, so for the most part, all you really need to worry about is marking the Swordbearer with your trace rifle, and you should generate enough heavy ammo for your teammates to not have to worry about it. Also, just to keep in mind, the Swordbearer will always spawn after both sets of Boomer Knights on the left and right side of the arena have been killed. Really quickly, and let me preface, you can use whichever trace rifle you want. I use the Path of Least Resistance because it's one of my favorite trace rifles, but other than that, any trace rifle you want to use, go ahead. Moving on to my subclass for my abilities, I think the main one that matters here is Healing Grenade. For the most part, I don't think any other grenades really matter all that much besides for Healing Grenade, because the boss can do a lot of damage to you randomly, so having that Healing Nade to give you your health back will help tremendously. The aspects don't really matter here, but I was using Icarus Dash and Touch of Flame. Really quickly, my fragments were Ember of Blistering, Ember of Singeing, Ember of Resolve, and Ember of Ashes. Here's the mod placement on all my armor pieces. You could pause the video real quick and take a look. Now if you wanted to, you could go to your legs and switch out the Solar Surge mods for, say, a Recuperation mod and an Innervation mod. So that's the build I used to defeat Crota for my very first time. Now it took my LFG team a little under an hour and a few attempts to finally bring down Crota. And in case you're wondering, swords were the strat that I used, and I don't know if that will change now that contest mode is finally over, but it seemed to work really well, so I imagine that will be the meta from now on. I'm curious to know how many of you were able to clear this raid on contest mode, so let me know down in the comments below if you did, or if you're planning on beating Crota soon. This should be a really fun raid, and I'm excited to discover all it has to offer, and even go for that seal if I'm good enough. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.